If you're a Zimbabwean, it's very likely that there's this one document that's been keeping you and your family poor, possibly for generations. And do you know why? Because every year, thousands of Zimbabweans lose their life savings trying to buy land or stands. And this is because the process is very unclear, messy, and full of misinformation. From fake agents to illegal layouts, land scams are everywhere. And most victims are just ordinary people like you and I trying to build a home. Welcome to So You Want to Be a Zimbabwean. We're breaking it down step by step, the show where we make Zimbabwe's daily dilemmas simpler for the average Zimbabwean. Before I reveal this ominous document, I need you to test yourself for a bit and answer this very simple question for me. If you have a letter from the council, do you own the land? Let me know below and we'll come back to that at the end. Now, let's talk land. Now let's start with how land buying should work. In Zimbabwe, land falls under four major categories. The first one being state land. And this land is owned by the central government. So if you get an offer letter from the Ministry of Lands or a similar authority, it means they're simply allowing you to use that land and not own it. You're a tenant of the state. What that means is there's no title deed and you can't sell it or lease it without government approval. The second one being local authority land. This is land that's controlled by the city or rural councils. You may be allocated land through a council letter or lease. So while that gives you the right to occupy that land, it's still not full ownership. Again, without a title deed, it's not legally yours. The third category is communal land. Found mostly in rural areas, the land is governed by traditional leaders like your chiefs or your village heads. You can use it if you're approved by the community, but you cannot buy, sell, or legally own it. There are no title deeds. It's simply just customary land passed through generations informally. And lastly, you've got private land. This is land that's owned by individuals, companies, or organizations. It's registered in someone's name at the deeds office and a title deed is issued. This is the gold standard. So if you buy this land and legally transfer the title deeds to your name, you are the official owner. So remember, a title deed means ownership. However, a letter or offer simply means temporary use only. Now here's the part where it gets even trickier. Many people are sold land using a council letter or an offer letter from the ministry. These documents may let you use the land temporarily, but they don't mean you own it. So remember that document I mentioned earlier when we started? You've got that right. You can't pass down an offer letter to your children once you die. And you can't use it as collateral to access a loan. Always aim to get the title deeds when acquiring the land, period. Then there's the issue of environmental impact assessments, or EIAs as most people would like to put it. If a housing project doesn't have one approved, it could be illegal. Some entire suburbs have been built without proper EIAs. And finally, there's the land developer. Anyone selling stands must be approved by the local council. If they're not on the list, they're a fraud. Let's look at myths versus reality and test your Zim IQ for a bit to see if you can spot the difference between myths versus reality and see just how many Zim IQ points you can acquire. Let's look at the first myth. If a property development company is selling fully developed houses, then that land is legal to occupy. Well, not necessarily. In 2021, dozens of families in Harare South had their homes demolished after buying cheap land that was never approved for settlement. Now we move on to myth 2. A council letter means you own the land. Well, a council letter is just temporary permission, not proof of ownership. People in Budiriro lost homes they'd lived in for years because they never had deeds, just letters. I'm just wondering how many Zim IQ points you've acquired so far, but let's take a look at myth 3. Once you pay, you're safe. Well, payment alone means nothing without legal transfer. Dating back, a couple in Rua paid a developer in full, only to learn he wasn't registered and they lost everything. Let's take a look at the fourth one. Offer letters can be inherited or transferred, right? But most offer letters are not legally transferable unless approved by the issuing authority. Taking a look at Chitungwiza, a woman was evicted after trying to build on land her father gave her using an offer letter. I'm really hoping you're following here and managed to acquire some IQ points there. But let's take a look at the last myth. If a house is already built, it must be legal. But the fact is, many houses have been built on illegal or unserviced land. In Epworth alone, families were told to demolish after it was discovered that the area had no approved layout or EIA. So let's say someone offers you a stand in a new suburb. It comes cheap and it comes with a council letter but no title deed or EIA. Do you A, go for it? B, do you ask for an EIA? Or C, do you walk away? Or D, do you call a lawyer? But we'll talk about the right move now. Here's how to buy land the smart way in Zimbabwe. Number 1, always ask for a title deed or verify who the land belongs to. Number 2, check if the area has an approved layout plan and EIA. Number 3, verify that the developer is registered with the local authority. Number 4, visit the deeds office or council planning department to double check everything. Number 5, involve a property lawyer before you pay a single cent. Number 6, be careful with offer letters. Ask a lawyer if they're transferable. Number 7, don't assume a built house is legal. Always check the land status first. And if something feels off, pause. A house is forever, but a scam is too. So all of this is well and good in theory, but what is the actual reality of acquiring these deeds in Zimbabwe? Well, in 2023, the government launched the Presidential Title Deeds Program to resolve all pending title deeds cases throughout the country. Digitalization is also a layer of security which has been added to the whole process. Next time on So You Want to Be a Zimbabwean, we'll break down how to register your small business legally and why that matters now more than ever. Share this with anyone thinking of buying land and let's stop the scams together. Remember, the less you know, the easier you are to scam.